Hi guys, I'm Jared Falk, and today I'm going to teach you a super fun thing to learn, and it's just a unique way of doing a one-handed drum roll. First of all, I want to apologize because I probably look like a zombie. It is an early morning for us, and I'm not used to filming this early, so don't go posting in the comments saying, you look so tired, you need some more sleep. Obviously, I know how I look. I saw myself in the morning, this morning in the mirror. Okay, so let's just jump right into the lesson, you guys. The way that this one-handed roll happens is using the rim of the drum, okay? So before we get into that, actually how to play the one-handed roll, I want to just show you the grip that I'm using because it's a different grip than if I were just playing drums normally. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm holding the fulcrum point here between my thumb and my index finger. Then my middle finger is holding the bottom of the stick. And then these two fingers are completely off the drumstick, okay? This isn't something I wouldn't recommend that you play around the drums like this all the time, but for me, it's the grip that works when doing this with my right and my left hand, okay? So you just want to remember that for when you go and practice this. The next thing I want to tell you guys is something that I've never told you before as well, and that is I hold the sticks a little bit tighter when doing this one-handed roll. And that's just because if you don't hold it tight enough, the rebound of the stick is going to want to bounce back too far, and you won't actually be able to perform this stroke. All right? So this is basically what happens. I'm holding the stick like this. Now my right hand comes down. The tip of the stick hits the drum first, and then the shaft of the stick hits the rim. Okay? So that's the first stroke. Then I push the stick down from this side, okay? Not to the tip. So I push the stick down right there, okay? So you see the back end of the stick actually hits my leg here. And then I just bring the stick back up for a second stroke. Okay, so let me just play one rotation for you. So now I want to give you a couple tips when practicing the one-handed roll. Now the first tip is make sure your fulcrum point is around 1 inch to 2 inches away from the rim. Okay, so here's my fulcrum point, here's the rim. That's around 1.5 inches. If it were like this, you know, like 3 or 4 inches back, it would be way harder to do this. Okay, so that's the first thing, is around 1 inch to 1.5 inches from there. The second thing is pretend there's like a screw drilled through your hand, and then there's a bolt on either side, because this cannot change, okay? The fulcrum point has to stay. If you start sliding the fulcrum point back and forth, it's gonna be way harder. So you might have to tense up a tiny bit. Don't do it too long. Don't strain yourself in the beginning. This isn't like a necessity to have in your toolbox. It's just a really fun thing to play around the drums. So don't strain yourself in learning it, okay? And so you wanna keep that a little bit tighter, so when you do perform the motion, that you don't get any sort of slippage or anything like that, okay? The next thing, the next tip I want to give you is to learn it with both hands, okay? So I know it really good with my right hand, but I'm really practicing it with my left hand because I find that's where I'm going to use it the most, because my left hand is always on the snare drum. It's always playing the backbeat, the 2 and the 4, and my right hand is doing other stuff around the drum. So I've really been exercising it with my left hand. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some quick exercises for developing this. Now I've set the metronome to 140 beats per minute, and we're going to be playing 16th notes at 140. Hitting the rim, we'll be playing 8th notes. So I'll be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right. And then the tip of the stick will actually be playing 16th notes. All right, so here we go. right, so you'll notice there's some inconsistencies between my right hand and my left hand. That's just because my left hand is the weaker hand and it's just taking longer to develop this thing. Another tip I want to quickly give you guys is my wrist is kind of just staying like that when I'm doing the one-handed roll. There's a tiny bit of arm movement, you know, a little bit, but not a lot. It's like the whole arm is not moving. It's mainly just the wrist in the right and the left hand. The next thing I want to tell you guys to practice is different note values. So just think of it like this. Whatever you're playing on the rim, it's double that what's going to happen on the drum. So if I'm playing 8th notes on the rim of the snare drum here, I'm going to hear 16th notes. If I'm playing 8th note triplets, we're going to hear 16th note triplets. So I'm going to play 8th note triplets on the rim at 140, and we're going to hear 16th note triplets at 140 beats per minute, which sounds freakishly fast. All right? Let's hear how it sounds. So that's how you do a one-handed roll. I didn't want this lesson to get too far out of hand and go for like an hour on you guys. I wanted to just give you the tools and the tips you needed to actually learn the technique. Now, if you want a follow-up video, if you want me to show you guys a ton more applications that I've been working on, please just like this video, comment on it, wherever you're watching it. I mean, some of these videos are on Facebook, some of them are on YouTube, some of them are on drumlessons.com, some of them are on every random place on the internet people post them. So if you're there, just comment, show your support by doing that, and then I'll definitely create a follow-up video. If there's not a lot of response, then I will not create a follow-up video. So thanks for watching, you guys. It's been a blast teaching you once again, and I'll see you very soon. So when you're practicing that, a couple tips I want to give you is let me tell you. So now I want to give you a couple tips when practicing this sort of thing. So you want to make sure it's like almost an inch and a half between the rim and your fulcrum point. Sorry about that. Why is it my phone always rings when I'm doing a lesson? I never get any calls except when I'm doing a lesson. Okay, rim, fulcrum point.